It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Hi, virtual neighbors, all my leaders and peeps. I wanted to come with just some food for thought. Right now, everybody is scrambling to try to figure out this new normal, how to thrive in this environment. And as a professional coach, as a leader myself that coaches leaders on strategy and execution and brand building and all elements of thriving and building an extraordinary career as a leader, and having tremendous positive impact to be a worthy leader, because I believe that leaders have to earn that right to be follower worthy. This is a challenging time to provide that insight and advisory. And so many of you leaders are incredibly intelligent. You know your game, you know the tactical finesse to all that you have worked on, and now you're just working on redeploying a lot of those things. So my thought was I just wanted to bring you a good word. You know, I've got my Mr. Rogers sweater on and my Cali shirt representing all my peeps. I'm with you here from Colorado. We are now on that similar state lockdown. And so here we are. We personally are 2 weeks in. This is a time for great reflection. And it's also a time to distill things down to what really matters. What is the boil down of what we're doing, of who we are, of what we're attempting to achieve? Does it matter? Is it worth our life, our precious lifeblood that we put into it? And so this is a time of great reflection. So I wanted to just put out some food for thought for all of you leaders and people who perceive themselves as a leader, because there's so many different forms to bring that into the world. Just a couple thoughts. And to me, all of effective leadership really boils down to two pillars, and that is communication and character. And they go hand in hand, they fuel each other. And at a time like this, it is so important to adopt a self-reflective approach where you really stop and say, what is my character as a leader? And character a lot of times is derived from our motives. What are my motives? Are my motives about others, or have I fallen into what I believe plagues most of our country, and that is the greatest addiction of all that erodes our world is the self-addiction. We are addicted to ourselves. And as leaders, that inevitably will undermine our ability to be truly effective, because it is counter to what should truly be the character and motive of every leader, which is being about others. What positive impact can I bring? What good can I bring? What is the power of me in this situation? And it should always come down to that. And so with the boil down of all effective leadership in any form or function is character and communication. And that means that in this time, we have an opportunity to slow up, back up off of ourselves and what we're doing, and say, who am I as a leader? Who am I? Who have I become? Is this who I wanted to be as a leader? What are my motives? What fuels what I do? What is my character? And then that other pillar, how am I demonstrating that in my communications? Because your communications will reveal your true character. And I think some leaders, if they do this and they really step back and use this opportunity to take a self-reflective, a self-evaluative approach and look through their communications, they're going to see that it may not really reflect the character that they want to be branded with, that they want other people to know them by. This is an opportunity to create a powerful virtual presence, which I believe truly is the brand differentiator, because our world it may go back to working in proximity with each other, but it will always be forevermore and even more modernized in more virtual formats. And that means that we need to learn to resonate and broadcast certain elements of our character that will set us apart as being powerful leaders who will have a lasting impact for good, and who are catalysts in every single environment, small or big, so that our very presence causes great things to happen. And that's what we do. Secret Weapon Leader, we build catalytic leaders. We build the catalyst leader, the mindsets, the methodologies. And so I just wanted to come with a good word today that as a leader, take this time to stop and really step back and reflect on those two parts. My character, what are my motives? Who am I? What do I want people to believe I care about that matters most to me? What would people say if people ask them? What is most important to your leader? Would they say results? Would they say money? Would they say image? Would they even say helping others? Maybe not. And how, looking at the second piece, how am I communicating? How am I using this opportunity to really polish and elevate my communication abilities? Because truly, leadership will succeed or fail in communication. It all comes down to that. Every relationship you have comes down to effective communication. And so it doesn't matter what you want to do. It doesn't matter your vision or your true abilities if you cannot be effective in communicating with precision those things. And so how are you communicating not just your work, but how are you communicating your character? And are they intertwined? They need to be intertwined in everything that you do. So I encourage you, take a step back, really think about, what is my tone? What do people feel when they receive communications from me? What is, if I was stripping myself of myself and sterilizing my lens, and I look back through my sent emails, and I look back through weeks and months of my communication, what would I derive as that person's character if I was stepping back and observing myself? So do that now. Decide that you want all of your communications to be an opportunity and a delivery system for your character, so that when people receive what you say, they feel something. They feel something positive. They feel encouraged. They feel that you understand. And if your motive is just to achieve what you want to achieve through your communications, my guess is that they are mediocre at best. Because when you are communicating with the other person in mind, in addition to your own objectives, you're going to be giving them great context, great detail. You're going to be setting things up according to who is the audience that I'm talking to, not according to my default style and just what I feel like saying and accomplishing, because that's that self-addicted mindset. We really have to pull out of that and say, okay, how am I going to use this time to decide the character that I want to project in everything that I do, and to look at my communications? Is it setting other people up for success, or is it just accomplishing what I need to check off in a box? And then what ultimately is that branding me with? This is the time to really get into what is my virtual presence, and it will come down to communication. So do an audit, look back through your emails, look at what you're sending, and ask yourself, is this helping the other person? And when they get it, what do they feel from this? If they feel nothing, if there's a neutral, put that in the negative column. Honestly, there is really no neutral. If it's just a bland, flat nothingness, there's no personality, no spirit, no nothing that's coming across to that other person in your communications. Short, it's curt, it lacks politeness, manners, greetings, any personal touch whatsoever. Your virtual presence, your brand will suffer from that. And it will be a collective decision over all of your little communications that you might think are no big deal. It's no big deal. I'm just going to respond to that with, typos or no hello, or the other person has written an intro to me to make me know that they care. And I just respond back with, 5 words. So I really want you to take this time to evaluate those 2 pillars that I believe is the boil down of really effective leadership. Remarkable, game changer leaders that you just never forget, that they are your mentors, that they are the people that you admire and you aspire to become like. They will demonstrate others-oriented character. Their motives will be clearly seen as desiring to have a broad positive impact, as not just being the keep my head down, my nose clean, and get my own job done without, getting in the fray of what anyone else is doing. They will be putting themselves out there. They will be interacting with other people and making sure that this is a time when they are generously spreading their help, not just, taking care of me, which is, I think, a lot of, unfortunately, that's where sometimes leadership ends up, because they get so bombarded. I get it. Overwhelm can create this constriction of your character to where it no longer becomes about character, it's just about communication. And then without that, it's robotic and empty, and ultimately will rob you of the best virtual brand, which becomes your true brand, that you really want, and and then it is accurate of who you are. So think about that. Food for thought. Evaluate your motives, the character that you're projecting, evaluate your communication. Am I just doing it for myself? How am I framing this up for other people? Am I giving them context? Is there a personal touch to what I send? And then think about your tone. The tone is what it's all wrapped in. It's ultimately the touch, the feel that somebody has of what you are conveying. Really pay attention to tone. It is essential. Right now, we need to have a connective tissue. We need to have a very strong ability to motivate from afar, to inspire, to draw people to us, so that they will listen, that they will track, they will stay in line, they won't scatter from fear or anxiety. And a lot of that has to do with tonality. So I have a good article on tone. Thinking about ourselves as a product. How would you write yourself as a product so that people would want to read it, would want to go to it, much like designing a website content that you would write in there. How is the tone, and does it draw the audience in that you want to? And we should be thinking about every communication from us as ultimately a product marketing. We are the product. And so that's what I wanted to say, and just encourage you. Steady on, follower-worthy leader. Keep on doing what you're doing. And remember, it's a great day in the neighborhood, and we need to treat this like the new normal, because even if it shifts, we will be better for learning how to thrive and have a catalyst leader brand in the virtual world. So take care. Talk to you soon.